Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. It's now 9:31 on the East Coast. I'm just looking around, just seeing if there's anything new out there I need to be aware of. Before we get rolling here to finish off our show. It's election day in Georgia. Yes, it's election day in Georgia. Sing it. I don't know the second line of that. All I know is it seems like every day's election day in Georgia. But it's a runoff. It's important, and we do have a little bit of voter fatigue. And I know nobody wants to hear that, and I can't help it, but there is a little bit like, really, an election? And guess what? Right after tonight, tomorrow, it will start again. You watch and see. Stacey Abrams is out in California telling them that they better watch out. And she said 4 years or maybe 2. What does that mean? The mystery as she floats out her next move. Anyhow, today, let's put it up here. We have the Secretary of State. And we're going to just make it really clear, okay? We have Secretary of State today. Please get to the polls. Get to your polls today. They're open to 7 p.m. today. And the closest to me is former Congressman John Barrow, Democrat. He is the Democrat. And then the furthest away in the red tie is Brad, the Republican candidate, Brad Raffensperger. I'm just telling you now, Barrow, for those of you that feel he is a moderate Democrat, blue dog, he is the old Democrat. There's a couple Democrats of the old days, that did not switch over to Republican, okay? And all due respect, there's the old statement, and some people get mad, I'd die first. Well, there's no way, although he did give a speech at the Republican convention, there's no way Zell Miller was going to switch from Democrat to Republican as far as coming out publicly and saying he is a Republican. He wasn't going to do it. There's no way Sam Nunn, they would just leave politics. There's no way Sam Nunn, former senator from Georgia, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to share this with you. Sam Nunn is the first Democrat, very first Democrat. There was some scuttlebutt. Is that what it's called? I don't know. But there was talk that Sam Nunn may be thinking about a run for president on the Democrat ticket. First Democrat I ever heard my dad say, you know what, Sam Nunn of Georgia, I think I could vote for him. I was like, whoa, really? Wow, where'd that come from? So there's Democrats that will not stop being Democrats until they die. All there is to it. So John Barrow is supposedly the last of those Democrats in the South, last Southern congressman, Democrat congressman, blue dog that was voted out. Campaigns as though he's a moderate. False. He will completely be run as Secretary of State by the Democrat Party. The National Democrat DNC there, the DNC, the National Party, he will be run by them. Okay? He will be run by the Georgia State Democrat Party. He will approve and not approve. He will not fight federal lawsuits that are going to come our way as a state. I've often told you, okay, never forget in 2016 why it took to 2 o'clock in the morning for Pennsylvania to say that President Donald Trump had won Pennsylvania. Why did it take that? Okay? Let me tell you something. It took, we're going to call it 2 weeks, okay? We're going to call it 2 weeks. You need to pay attention to this Secretary of State's race. Because it took 2 weeks around this country to finalize how many elections. Now, it took a little time in Michigan, okay? We understand that. But election night 2016, we were able to watch the big board on the network you were watching turn the states blue and red. And eventually they had to turn a color. It won't be that way in 2020. If they can, they will have you 3 weeks out waiting for the results to come in from Florida. Now, obviously, we're not going to worry about California as Republicans. I don't think we have anything to worry about there, so there's no need to bring this into the discussion, other than the fact, it took them, 4 weeks to finish counting enough votes in Orange County and the other counties, the other races in California, until Democrats won. How long did it take to finish the voting or get the election certified here in Georgia? All across this country in 2020, they do not want you going to bed election night, and they would love to disrupt this country for 3 weeks afterwards to find out if Donald Trump will have a second term or not. Very important to have a Secretary of State that will stand up to challenges, liberal challenges, okay? Very important to a Secretary of State that will stand up and oversee recounts, oversee the certification of your state elections and national. And if you think for 1 minute that Stacey Abrams, okay, we told you about this yesterday, that started the fair fight, okay? Now, I'm just telling you, go out and vote. Stacey Abrams hints at another run in first speech since governor defeat. Greg Bluestein of the AJC, in her first public speech since losing the race for governor, Stacey Abrams dropped a strong suggestion she's either taking aim at David Perdue in 2 years or Brian Kemp in 4. Okay, she's out in Palm Springs, California. Well, she went to Palm Springs. I mean, she deserves Palm Springs. Lay by the pool. Oh my God, there's a visual. Help me, help me, help me. Okay, Stacey Abrams laying by the pool. Oh my gosh. All right, reel it back in. Calm down. Okay, so she has finished tough election. She deserves some time out in Palm Springs. At what was billed as a surprise Friday appearance at the TED Woman 2018 talk in Palm Springs, California, Abrams urged the crowd to ask themselves 3 questions. What do I want? What do I want? Why do I want it? And how do I get it? By hook or by crook? Okay. Let's see. I am moving forward knowing what is in my past. I know the obstacles that obstacles they have for me. I'm fairly certain they're energizing and creating new obstacles now. Abrams said they've got 4 years to get it to figure it out. Maybe 2. 2 would mean a run in 2020 for against David Perdue. I do think she will run against David Perdue, Senator Perdue, for one reason. Because she wants to pull her vote out, energize her vote, not to come out and vote for her, because it would be presidential, and also vote for whoever the top of the Democrat ticket is for presidential, to try to cause Trump to lose the state. So all of that being said, do you think John Barrow is going to declare Trump the victor on election night? President Donald Trump the victor on election night? Or will he help obstruct the outcome and take 3 weeks to decide? Brad Raffensperger is your Republican candidate to the far of the screen, and there's John Barrow, the Democrat closest to me. Barrow will walk, talk, lockstep with Democrats and do what is told in your Georgia Secretary of State's office. All right, the other one on the ballot is the Public Service Commissioner, and it's interesting that I've never actually I don't remember the last time that a Public Service Commissioner was of such interest and brought so much money into. I just got this notification. Paris, French student protest intensifies on Tuesday with various incidents around the country of demonstrators setting buildings on fire and violent clashes with police. Okay, over the course of this week, students have gradually started to get involved in the so-called Yellow Vest protest against President Emmanuel Macron. I'm for sure that's going to be on CNN, MSNBC, and you can switch over there, and they're running highlights now. But this is Chuck Eaton, red tie, closest to me, Republican, and incumbent for Public Service Commissioner of Georgia. A lot of money's been poured into his campaign by Georgia Power, and the far right is Miller. What's her first name? I forget her first name. What is that? Lindy Miller. Lindy Miller there, that's right. The Democrat, Lindy Miller, is the far right of the screen, or the far side of the screen there, the Democrat, and that's Public Service Commissioner. So that is on the ballot today, and get out and vote. Now, before we go this morning, I want to ask, let's go with number 4. A fourth casualty now has come up. Sergeant Jason M. McCleary of the Army is number 4 in the attack that took place on November 27th. U.S. service members killed in Afghanistan from November 27th bombing. Now we have 4, okay? I want to know why we are there, okay? Now, I'm not an isolationist in the world. I know we have to have our finger of the pulse of, you know, what camel jockey is hiding in some cave in one of those mountains that they've made a deal on a nuclear weapon through terrorist channels or whatever. I understand that, okay? I understand there's areas that we have to have some sort of involvement, okay? I do want to know what the mission is. I'd like for them, and you're probably telling me across the screen here, I love these kids. I love to support, and love to support our military men and women in combat and wherever they're at all around the world. I do want somebody to come out and clarify the mission for me. Tell me why we're there after 17 years, why we continue to spend our money and we leave our national treasure there, these young men and women, their blood on the sand or in the mountains or wherever they're killed at in Afghanistan. Could somebody please tell us, the American people, why we are there? That's just what I want to know. What we're doing there, 17 years. When do we leave? When do we accomplish what we went for? What is going on? I'd like to know that. We'll take a brief break. We'll come back, and I got about 10 minutes to finish the show. And then we're going to have instant replay with Dave Garner. You don't want to miss that. And that's at the top of the hour right here on FYNTV.com. And if you stay tuned to instant replay with Dave Garner, you will meet our newest member of Team FYN Sports is going to be on with Dave this morning. You don't want to miss that. Take us a break, Josh.